fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome back, Star Trek Fleet Command fans, and today I want to talk about the new Heroic SMS that launched. Now, Heroic SMSs are nothing new. I mean, we've had that concept before. This one being Armada based. But because of the reward, I felt like it was necessary to talk about it. You have 3 days to do it, and I actually do think this is one that if you're a free-to-play light spender or even a high spender, every player in the game should go after. And more importantly, past all that, if you are under the level 40, you need to find a way to try to complete this if you have the directives saved up, etc. Even if you won't win the fight, I would even go far as to say you should blow the directives even if you can't win. What I mean by that is if you've got like some solo Armada directives just laying around, but you can't beat the systems, or you're not even level 35 yet, but maybe battle passes or something to give you directives, go freaking launch them. Do whatever you can, because this pays out Hugh shards. Now, you're going, who is Hugh? Hugh is you. You need Hugh. Hugh is the guy that you actually need. Why? Because this event is giving out 120 shards. It is a full unlock of Hugh, and if you already have him unlocked at tier 1, this will take you to tier Deuce, just 2 in Spanish. And now you know. You didn't know that. You didn't know Rev was bilingual because I can say Deuce. So Deuce lingual. Anyway, bad jokes and terrible puns aside, this is a very valuable SMS if you could complete it. Now the question is, how can you do that? Like, how easy is it to complete? We'll be very clear. It ain't easy to complete this. If you wanted to do it, it's going to run you about 20 epic armadas, if all you do is epic armadas, and about 38 rares. Yeah, I know. That's a lot, right? So how do we get that number? Well, easy enough is you actually come down here. It says you get per point 100. So that's important to remember because to launch a rare actually costs 200. So that means that I would get 20,000 points per rare launch. So that's how I would need 38. And then if you look at the epic solos, I did confirm this with the Arc Runner this morning. The epic solo actually pays out a little bit more than the typical epic armada. So if you were to go do what I was doing, which I was running rare Cardassian armadas, like I lost to one right there, the 50, but like here's a 45 that I beat. Didn't matter that I lost the other one, but simply ran this and then bam, right here. This is 20,000. But for the epics, I actually get 75,000. I'm sorry, you get 75 times, what, 500. So that's going to be 37,000-ish, something like that. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's actually very good numbers. Now, keep that math in mind when you talk about doing the rares. Now add 85 and multiply that by 500. So you actually get more if you have the epics saved up here for the solo armadas. Question is, are you going to be able to do that? Like, is it feasible for everybody? Well, this is where mixing and matching kind of comes into play. So if you've been running through a lot of your solo loops, then you're probably going to have a lot of stockpiles. And honestly, the players who are level 40 plus should have enough stockpiled to complete this run. Again, that's because I'm basing it off purely being able to run either 40 solos that are rare, or 38 actually, or running 20 of the epics. And if you split that between Borg, Dominion, and regular armadas, most players 40 plus probably have, if they're doing those loops regularly, the directives saved up. So I don't spend a ton of regular armada directives because I'm NIA and they tend to do that, but I still collect as many as I can. But if I go down into my directives real quick and I take a look for my rare solos, you can see my Borg, I've got 800, so that's 4 right there. But then on my epics, because I don't run the epics near as much as I should, I've got almost 10,000. So I've got 9 epics right there in Borg, and then I've got 4 rares. And then if I go combine that with others that are actually, you know, in existence, where we have all these directives all over the place. Gosh, this thing needs organization. But you see my rare solos, I'm up to 19,000 just because I don't run them all the time. My Dominion, 15,000. And I get so much that I'm able to pull without having to do them very often. But if you are not those players, then you're going to be really focusing on the rares and epics, these standards. And typically what I've been doing is I do the Cardassian ones, but we'll do them all over the galaxy. The real thing is the value of the officer being offered, and it's Hugh. So real quick, let's talk about why Hugh is so valuable. Sort by group, scroll it on down real quick, and we're going to find our Borg officers where they at right here. So here's Hugh. You see, I have Hugh at tier 2, and I'm about a third of the way to tier 3. So 120 more shards won't take me to tier 3, but it will help me get there, because the only sourcing for this guy is through the epic solo and the epic Borg solo armadas. I don't know, my brain kept wanting to say rare. So the epic solo armadas are the way to source this, but you got to be 40 plus to enter into that loop. Yet everybody who is watching this video, literally, if you hear the sound of my voice right now, you could benefit from Hugh. His below deck ability is, this is mine at tier 2, a 50% chance to increase critical hit chance by 25% for 2 rounds, and it'll stack. So the higher tier you get, the better chance you have of hitting criticals. Bing, bang, boom. And it matters. Now, how does he scale? So to give you a reminder real quick, this is how he scales. You're going to see him go from down there at the 40s into the 50, and then eventually 100% chance. This is amazing. Like, this is very impactful to your gameplay if you remember how criticals work. Remember, criticals are a multiplier after damage. So if you can create those criticals, you're going to get better power for your regular shots and your isolytic shots. Hugh is incredibly important for you. Q's trials, hostile grinding, rep grinding. He is amazing. Freebooters, actings, doesn't matter what you're fighting, you want Hugh below deck. So now the tricky thing is, how do we source over 3 days enough to get the guy that's currently on the screen? And that's going to come down to your armada if you have a little bit of a stockpile. Now, I'm not saying that everybody does, and I'm sure there will be plenty of comments talking about how there's no way to complete this. But I would say that Armada heroics are the easier type of heroic to usually complete versus a spending uncommon. Because what I find a lot of players do is they will store these up because they are so valuable. And this is your opportunity to blow it. And this is the confirmation maybe you needed to know, is this valuable enough to actually invest in? Absolutely. Even to the point that I would say, sacrifice armadas. It doesn't matter if your alliance is able to come and help you win them or not. Do you want to win them? Of course. But literally, like if you somehow, I was talking to one of my members in server 97 that she has just rare and epic solo armadas. Yeah, find a way to launch them bad boys if you can. Like, I don't care how you do it. Find a way to get your little scrawny butt down here to rocking and just launch. Doesn't matter if you win them. You know, there's only uncommons here. But you see the point I'm making? The rares are actually a little bit further up. The point I'm making is if you have the ability, we're talking limited people to get there, but if you have the ability, like say you have a max enterprise or something, level 35, 36, etc., or even if you somehow can find a way with one of the new specialty ships, maybe you got a great warp range on an amalgam and you just get out there, you know, whatever your reasoning is and however you make it happen, yes, once they go after it. Is this going to be difficult for lower level players? Absolutely, because you don't have the solo path that everybody else has. But I will tell you, just right up, value is there. And yes, I also brought it up to the overlords already that my opinion is it does need to be scaled down a little bit. Mostly my argument is not necessarily the cost of the armadas, the time investment, if you're expecting people to work together and complete these armadas. Remember, like if you're launching some of these, it's 15 minutes, you know, some are shorter. Solos are definitely better in that regard in terms of time. But yeah, anyway, all of this, I want to know what you think in the comment section down below. As I always do, I try to get players' sentiment, player thoughts, feedback, etc. And for that to happen, well, you've got to kind of right down there. See it? Can you do that? Can you say something? I miss you. I love you. I'll be streaming tonight. Come hang out. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below about Hugh, about the heroic Armada SMS, and if you're going to participate. And if you weren't thinking about it, well, did this video help you think about it? Not everybody remembers the value of all the officers in the game because you got 200 plus officers now. It's tough to keep up with all of them. I get it. But now you know. Deuces. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Catch you on the next one. And technically tonight because I'm streaming on Twitch. Come join. Also, birthday stream is what? 3 weeks from today. Hey, I'm going to be old again. Already old. I'm going to be older.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.